All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. What a whirlwind of a victory. Minnesota beats the visiting Carolina Panthers 28-27. Boom.
Yeah, what a crazy game. This thing was back and forth. Just the second half was nuts. You know, the Vikings had that stretch where they've done this before. Third quarter, all of a sudden the wheels just come off and they give up, two. You go to take a piss, you come back, all of a sudden the Panthers are up by 2 scores. You're like, what the hell happened? I didn't even get done shaking, and the points have just about doubled. It was crazy finish. So many twists and turns, so many things to talk about. So let's get started.
Yeah, that's why I stopped shaking years ago. I just throw that thing in there, get back to the game. No need to miss anything. But yes, this was the obviously the big storyline is Teddy Bridgewater coming back to the Vikings. We'll talk about that. But where do you even want to start? Start at the beginning.
Yeah, I suppose. Vikings start out with a beautiful. Actually, they stop the Panthers first, and they get the ball back. Nice drive. Kirk Cousins marches the team down the field. It was kind of made pretty clear early in this game that the Panthers were going all out to stop Dalvin Cook, and for the most part, they succeeded in that.
Yeah, they did. Dalvin Cook, 18 for 61, averaged 3.4 yards a carry, did have 4 catches, had that scary injury that looked like it might just be absolutely devastating. Next thing you know, he's running on the sidelines. The guy is a superhuman.
He's a superhuman. He is something else. Kirk Cousins does find Justin Jefferson for the first score of the game. Jefferson stepped into that number 1 role today, and actually, I don't want to say the Vikings offense didn't miss a beat, but it went pretty well.
Yeah, it went well. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 72 scores. But that has a lot to do with a couple other guys stepping up. BC Johnson, who's been a ghost, 7 for 74, actually our leading receiver. And, of course, Chad Beebe, who we will talk about, I'm sure, much more. Big game, 7 for 63 in that score. So the other guys stepped up, which helped quite a bit.
They did. We talked about a little bit in our pregame vid who was going to be that guy to step up, and turns out it was a couple guys: Chad Beebe, BC Johnson, and then also what was it? Kyle Rudolph. How did he end up with 7 for 68? So those are kind of your three-headed monsters.
Really? 7 catches?
Yeah, it replaced Adam Thielen with 3 guys, and it worked. Even see like Brandon Dillon got a catch, Conkadonk had one. Dalvin Cook was involved early, heavily in the passing game, 4 for 21. So Cousins, you know what? He did spread them. He spread them real wide today.
He spread his butt cheeks apart. And as we ramble off all these beautiful stats by the receivers, by the tight ends, it does come back to one thing, and that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins made this happen. He spread it around. Another fantastic game. When you look at the last 3 games, Kirk Cousins, he's had 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, quarterback rating well over 100. He has had a fantastic 3-game stretch.
Let's not forget about what he did today with his legs and his huge ass. He was escaping pressure in the pocket, and he was running. How about he ran for 19 yards today, 4 attempts for 19 yards. He was the Vikings' second leading rusher today, ahead of CJ Ham and ahead of Alexander Madison. Kirk Cousins, who knew this guy was so damn elusive?
Very, very elusive. It's a little painful watching him when he runs out of the pocket, but damn it, he gets some yards. So he was doing whatever it takes to get this win. And if you haven't, you have to you got to go check out on Twitter where there's videos of Adam Thielen watching this game. There's little clips, and he's really a little into it. Let's just put it that way.
Wow. Yeah, we got to talk about, if we're going to stick on the offensive side of the ball, I don't know if we're going this quarter by quarter or offense, defense, whatever, but Kirk Cousins, that last drive, it was like no pressure. He knew exactly where he was going with the ball. He put the ball where it needed to be. He was calm. It was a thing of beauty to watch. And he marched his team down the field. He wanted this win, and he went and he got that. Gosh darn, he got that win.
He got that gosh darn win. The Vikings are now 5-6. What actually makes me more even pissed off the fact that we lost to the Cowboys last week. So yes, again, we'll keep saying it. We're not mathematically eliminated. It is quite the stretch for us to make the playoffs, but 5-6. Panthers go to 4-8. And offensively, we had a few whoopsies, but they played pretty well considering. The big thing in my mind, again, is the turnovers. The Vikings had 3 fumbles, Cousins, Cook, and of course, Beebe at the end had that turnover. So we got killed in the turnover battle, which shows in the scoreboard. It really shouldn't have been this close. Overall, I think it was a pretty sloppy game by both of us. It really, we looked like two teams playing each other with a losing record.
Well, and then you get to that third quarter, and Cousins, you see the guy coming at you, and he's still trying to throw the ball. He could have pulled that thing up, protected it a little bit better, not had it come out. Delvin Cooks, I mean, the refs probably could have blew that thing dead. They waited on the whistle. So, I mean, there's a couple things there, just a few of changes that could have made those things not go the way they did. But for this team to come back and overcome that horrible stretch there in the third quarter, which isn't the first time the Vikings have done that. Did it in Seattle earlier this year. The Vikings do have these momentary meltdowns, but they overcame it this time. And a lot of it had to do with the old number 8 and his big old buttocks.
Old number 8. And just to touch on it, because we have to, because it was such a big thing. Yes, Jeremy Chin got 2 touchdowns in 10 seconds. It was insane. It was crazy. We knew going into this game that Jeremy Chin was probably going to be a fun guy to watch. He's lived up to it. Congratulations.
Well,
I'm over it.
It seems like we always let some rookie do something amazing. You see CeeDee Lamb's catch last week. There's probably way more examples that I can't think of. But it just seems like the Vikings, if it's some big time rookie coming in, he's going to have like the moment of his career against the Vikings. It never fails. One major negative aspect when it comes to the offensive side of the football today, in my mind, was the offensive line. This is the second straight game where I thought they were just getting outmanned. They were just not the more physical team. The Panthers D-line came to play. Their linebackers came to play. They were way more aggressive than the Vikings. And this is kind of the second game in a row against a defense that has not been that strong, where we're just not as physical as our opponents are.
Yeah, the Panthers only had 2 sacks, but it seemed like they had like about 10 of them. They were in his face all day. Kirk Cousins actually he's come a long way from the first years with the Vikings as far as moving around the pocket. So he's probably gotten used to the fact that he has to move or he's going to get sacked. But yeah, our offensive line did not really show up today at all. And of course, Dakota Dozier then steps on Kirk Cousins' foot, which makes it even worse. But offensively, what do you got to wrap this on the offensive side up? Anything?
Well, they came through when they needed to in the end. That fourth quarter magic, it was there. Jonathan Vilma, he's right. He talked about.
Hold on, Jonathan Vilma is not right about anything. He's the worst. He's the worst. I can't believe we waited this long to talk about this, because Jonathan Vilma needs to not do another game ever, a Vikings game.
It was weird. He was talking about the Jinx monster, and he was just kind of moaning at points of the game.
Yeah,
clearly
he was.
Loved the Panthers. It was a bizarre, just a broadcasting job.
By the end of the game, or at about the mid-fourth, I don't know who I felt worse for, Jonathan Vilma or Chad Beebe, because they are both kind of stepping on their dicks.
Well, and let's talk about Chad Beebe. Usually we do special teams at the end here, but you muffed the punt. And then you come back and you go from GOAT to hero, making the big touchdown catch at the end. Again, what are you taking away from this game? Chad Beebe's touchdown catch or his muff pump that could have cost the Vikings the game?
Well, I mean, Chad Beebe is probably one of the most lovable guys on the team. He's an underdog. He's this little receiver. Everybody's rooting for him. Everybody has rooted for him. Muff the punt, that's inexcusable. We've been dealing with this crap all year, and then he comes in to be just kind of the safe option opposed from KJ Osborne. Muffs it in the fourth quarter, end of the fourth. Waited a long time to call that fair catch. He knew he was going to do a fair catch. He's at the 10-yard line. He did it right at the end, muffed it. I do not give him a pass for that whatsoever. I do not think he should be returning kicks. Even last year when he was doing it, it was scary every damn time he did it. They need to bring Marcus Sherrill's old bones back or something. As far as being a receiver, he had a very good game. You couldn't ask for every time he threw him the ball, he did fantastic. And then not even including the score at the end. He 7 for 60, whatever, in the game-winning touchdown. So hats off to him, but get his ass off of special teams.
He was 100% catching the ball today. 7 targets, 7 receptions.
Not on punts.
No. And damn well Marwan Malouf will not be the special teams coordinator next year, whether it's his fault or not. Again, but with the bad came the good. The Vikings did have a blocked, was it a field goal or extra point? I don't remember, but it was a field goal. So DJ Wanham, I mean, let's go to defensive side.
Hold on. We got to finish up on special teams. Dan Bailey, long with 53. Thank you very much. 2 for 2. And Britton Colquitt, we haven't been very nice to him this year. He had a damn good game. 3 punts, average 51 yards a punt. So well done on Mr. Colquitt's part.
Yeah, he had the one that was inside the 10 that we let. I think they ran back for 20-something yards. So it wasn't as good. He didn't do his finger pointing on that one. He booted the shit out of that ball.
No, he actually does this every time. He could have a 9-yard punt and he's doing his finger pointing.
Well,
just the way he's put together.
Well, Colquitt did have a hell of a game. We have given him some shit. Let's talk about Joe Delgado, the long snapper, again with a solid performance. That's not his name. It's like Andrew DiPaola or some shit.
Yes, let's talk defense.
Well, here's the problem with the defense. It's the run. We cannot stop the run. I mean, Mike Davis was getting huge chunks of yards. Rodney Smith, the gopher, was having huge chunks. Trendon Cannon Jr., whatever the hell this guy's name was. We are horrible against the run right now, and it's inexcusable, and it's going to be – I mean, this is why, even though we're mathematically alive, you can't expect this team to make a playoff run when you can't stop the run.
Yeah, we cannot stop the run. It's very clear. I mean, just imagine the only reason we can stop the run is because of Eric Kendricks. There's no other reason. Imagine this team without him. It would be horrible. But our defensive front had a pretty rough game. I think DJ Wanham played pretty damn well today. Tip pass, a couple of good tackles. But other than that, defensively, not a lot to get excited about.
No, and we actually asked for this in our pregame show we did. We said we want to see Cam Dancer break up a pass. We want to see Jeff Gladney, and they did it early. They did kind of have some step on their dick moments later. Chris Boyd, not a great performance again. He had some not so great plays. Chris Jones, I hate to say it, but he actually bounced back a little bit today. Much better performance. Only has 1 tackle on the stat sheet, but he had some nice plays in coverage. So Chris Jones, still don't like you, but you played much better this week.
Yeah, not only could we not stop the run, we couldn't really get to Teddy. 0 sacks, and that is a huge issue. But you're right. I didn't give our secondary a little bit of love that they probably deserve, because Danzler did have some good plays. Gladney had that good play right off the bat. Anthony Harris, again, just kind of non-existent. And even Harrison Smith didn't have his best game. So defensively, nothing great. The biggest, they just seem to be out there just kind of making mental mistakes, missed tackles, a lot of missed tackles. It was really sloppy on the defensive side.
Well, what I don't get is when, they got the ball 48 seconds, you're in prevent defense, and Teddy chucks up a floater. That pass had nothing on it.
Where the hell was Harrison Smith on that?
You got 3 guys on Curtis Samuel, and he still catches the ball. It never should have happened. And that is inexcusable. And I mean, this is why I hate the prevent defense. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's got to be some kind of a mix where you can still have the good coverage in back end and get some extra pressure there too, because we cannot pressure the quarterback with 4 guys, not with who we have out there right now.
Yeah, and I hate to go this road a little bit, but the fact that the Vikings actually ended up winning this game, I think it has a lot to do with Carolina just making some real weird play calls at the end. They were passing the ball on 2nd down, 3rd down. They were not even really attempting to wind that clock. And when the Vikings had the ball, they had more than enough time, and it was because of some really shitty play calling by the Panthers offense.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I wasn't really paying that much close attention to where the clock was after that muff punt, but all of a sudden they kicked the field goal, and there's a minute 54 left. I was like, what the hell? What were they doing? Because we only had 1 timeout, I believe, at that time. So, and that, big kudos to the Vikings defense there for stiffening up, becoming fully erect and not letting the Panthers punch that one in, because they could have easily just given up right then and said, hey, you know what, this game's over.
So let's touch on the big talker, Teddy Bridgewater, coming back. If you were just to strictly listen to the announcers, especially Jonathan Vilma, and not watch the game, you'd think this was the second coming of Joe Montana. But when you look at the numbers, when you look at the overall game, 19 for 36, 267, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. What do you think of his performance?
it's a completely Teddy Bridgewater performance. That's
Exactly.
like his standard stat line. 250-ish yards, maybe a couple touchdowns, maybe a pick. That's what we kind of got accustomed to. And he didn't lose this game for the Panthers. He didn't win the game for the Panthers. I feel like for the most part, he did what he had to do. He did miss DJ Moore early in the game on a wide open one there, but that's Teddy Bridgewater. That is who he is. That's what we've seen from day one from him.
Yeah, it was absolutely Teddy Bridgewater-esque. I would have expected nothing else. He looked good, not great, not bad. So overall, again, Vikings 5-6. I wrapped this game up pretty much just saying it was a sloppy game, and we were just the less sloppy one at the end of the game.
I mean, a little bit, but you also got to give the team credit for not giving up, not throwing in the white flag after that horrible back-to-back touchdowns to Jeremy Chin. Easily could have given up, could have just tucked and ran, wobbled off the field, but they fought. They showed some grit. I think that goes back to their head coach. Whether they're scared of him, whether they respect him, whatever the hell it is, this team did fight till the end, and they're keeping their very, very slim playoff hopes alive. So I do give him credit for that.
Yeah, and as much as the bad words I said about Mr. Beebe when he dropped that punt, I owe him an apology because I wasn't very happy, and he came back and he showed some, like you said, he showed some grit and got the dubski.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's do it. Everybody's waiting for it. Who is it? Who's a and Turd instead of the games?
Yeah, this is not easy. Man, I mean, the start of the game, or we're starting with the Turd. Turd of the game was easily going to be Chad Beebe until he scored that touchdown. No doubt about it. So I'm going Chris Boyd. I'm going 29. He's had a rough couple of weeks. And he did not look well today, even at the end when was it Gladney came out, they put Harrison Hand in there and Chris Boyd was on the bench, and that was rightfully so. So Chris Boyd, not great. He's my Turd.
Yeah, I kind of want to give this to either someone on the O-line or someone on the D-line. But I'm going to go with the D-line because just the way they were so pathetic against the run today, it was just sad. Mike Davis, Rodney Smith, Trevor Cannon, or the hell his name is, these are not great running backs. And the Vikings were getting up huge chunks every time they got the ball. So I'm going to put on Shamar Stephen. You are the run stuffer. That is your job. You've pretty much been a turd all season long, and today was one of your stinkiest of turds. Shamar Stephen, you are my turd of the game.
Wow, I didn't expect that. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a hard one. There could have been a lot of turds today.
Yeah, there really was. All right, let's go to stud. Oh, who's your stud of the game?
It's funny because my kids they're watching the game with me and they know we do this, and they're like, who's your stud? Who's your stud? And about 3/4 through, I said it's probably Eric Kendricks, but then a horse. I don't know what, he got something up his ass. He took the lead at the end by the nose. He won the race, and that horse is Kirk Cousins. The poise he showed. I mean, we already touched on his scrambling ability today. He was making plays with his legs, which we just don't see Kirk Cousins do. Then to have the composure to lead this team to the win at the end. And then you also saw him, she was screaming on the sidelines a little bit today, showed some fire. Like to see that from her quarterback. I'm sure he was saying a lot of gosh darns, golly gees, stuff.
Maybe even a crap. Maybe he might have said crap once or twice.
He might have, but I give him a ton of credit. We were kind of saying this guy's a game manager. Delvin Cook, the Panthers did a great job taking him out of the game plan today, and Kirk Cousins stepped up without Adam Thielen, used his other weapons, which he has not done all season, and he led this team to a win, an improbable win with the way the second half went down. So Kirk Cousins, easily my stud of the game today.
Yeah, it's got to be Kirk Cousins. He's been on a roll. He does not get the love he deserves when he's doing well. He only gets the shit when he has bad games. Kirk Cousins is on a hell of a 3-game streak, and we won this game strictly because of him. I don't care if he ran 20 yards ahead and then ran 25 yards back behind the line of scrimmage and threw that pass. Doesn't matter. He got us the win. That drive at the end, he looked fantastic, and he's got big old hairy balls.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a TJF Friday night in the old Cousins household tonight.
Oh, God. Wow. They must have a gift card.
Might have to be takeout because I don't know if you can dine in right now, but I guarantee you that's where they're going.
Well, and also thank you to Joey Sly for missing that field goal. Every Viking fan just expected that thing to go right down the gut because that's how it happens. And that thing was completely shanked, not even close from the get-go. So Vikings 5-6. I believe we have Jacksonville next week. So easily could be 500, which would not have been expected a couple weeks ago.
No. And you go back to the game last week. Look how bad the Cowboys really are. They showed it against Washington. I mean, you could be above 500 right now, but that's not the way it is. But we'll look to get 500 against Jacksonville again. Can't overlook them though. They do fight. Even if it's Mike Glennon as their quarterback.
Yeah, and just wrapping this thing up, it's a good thing, Justin Jefferson, when he's 7 for 70, 2 touchdowns, and we barely even talk about him. It's just kind of expected now. That's how good he is.
Oh, yeah. We didn't say anything about Justin.
We mentioned him a little bit, but not the love he probably deserved.
Well, we've said enough about Justin Jefferson. Like you said, he's gotten to that point where we expect it now. Here's something you may not have expected. Actually, the second thing, because you probably didn't expect the Vikings to pull this one out, and you're not going to expect to hear this or to know this. But if Earth stopped for 1 second and you weren't belt buckled to the Earth's surface, you would fall over and you would roll 800 miles per hour due east, killing everyone.